Today is July 4th, 2020, the day that our country founded its freedom, and we certainly are going through interesting times right now during this year 2020. I awoke a couple months ago, actually April 30th, and I decided to write a letter about the current situation and pandemic that I wanted to address to my grandchildren and great-grandchildren, because who knows, I may or may not have the opportunity to directly address them. So I'd like to read this, and again, this is July 4th. We're now probably 4 to 5 months into the pandemic, but again, this was April 30th, 2020. Dear grandchildren, great-grandchildren, I woke early today around 5 a.m. and for some reason it hit me to write a note to you about what is happening to the world right now, a pandemic. The birds are chirping extra loud right now. I hope to meet you one day and talk directly to you, but for many, these notes will be how I say, Grandma, and I love you very much. I never met my great-grandparents, but did know my grandmas and grandpas well. Some of my most fond memories include them. They loved us and also went through many unique, tragic events. They told me a little about World War I and World War II, the Great Depression with rationing supplies, sending care packages to soldiers, and the many deaths that resulted during their hard times. I wish we would have talked more, as now I have so many more questions. In fact, people say today that the pandemic is the fourth greatest event in the last 100 years, after the Spanish flu, the Depression, World War II, and now the pandemic. As I said, today marks about 2 months since we heard the terms pandemic, stay-at-home orders, social distancing, COVID-19, and coronavirus. It seems much longer, but when you read this, several months won't mean much. In this short time, however, here are some numbers. In the U.S. alone, 1,065,000 cases, 61,481 deaths. That has now risen to almost 130,000 deaths, so we've doubled since April 30th. In Illinois, over 50,000 cases where we live, and there's been over 2,200 deaths, and that now has risen to over 4,000. And in Cook County, which is the county we're closest to, there was 35,000 cases and a little under 2,000 deaths. Schools were closed weeks ago, and our retail toy shop, yes, my wife and I were and are toy people, was closed on Saturday evening, March 21st, as only essential business was allowed open. The internet has allowed us to still stay open online as we use social media, tools like Facebook, Instagram, and other forms of online connectivity. The big one right now is called Zoom. I downloaded the app because my doctor visit was through a Zoom conference. So that's how I learned how to conference over a mobile phone and the internet. This is starting to get a little long, and I know you will get bored or lose interest, but 2 more things are of interest to say. I, as well as Grandma, are so proud of your parents, Meredith and JJ, Alden and Jeffrey, as they are doing so well through this. Jeff and Alden have recovered from the virus, most likely contracted from their trip to Spain in March, and have many blessings. Jeff completed his master's degree at Harvard during this time, but there will be no ceremony this spring. Congratulations, Jeff. Other surprises may also be coming. Meredith and JJ have been self-isolating, that's a new term too that we learned, in their home but doing great work. Meredith works in cybersecurity and has helped the WHO, World Health Organization, along with top U.S. companies fighting the virus, including Apple, Google, and Facebook. JJ's company is actually doing very well. One of their best years as online gaming is soaring since people are at home and I guess playing more games online and have the disposable income to boot. And he still teaches at DePaul University, probably using Zoom. Finally, what have we learned or I learned? One, how lucky Grandma and I are to have a good family before us as well as kids after us. May this legacy be passed on. And the more we have given and donating and positivity to our community through our toy store, the more we have gotten in return. And through all this, the world is quite small. I would urge you to find some little way to make it just a little bit better. Again, we love you. We hope to meet you. But I know the Durr legacy will mean good things to come. God bless.